Good news if you guys are Gallop Racer fans. My friend told me about this game called Champion Horse Racing for Google Play, and that is where you get to race, breed, and take care of horses. And it's very similar to Gallop Racer in how it's set up. You start off by choosing your language and your location, and then you also choose your assistant. Choosing the assistant doesn't really matter, it's just more so a preference. It's not like they're gonna give you blood or anything like that. You then get to choose your jockey's silks. As far as I know, you don't get to choose the horse's silk, so that's one thing that they are missing that Gallop Racer had. You had each horse that could have its own designated silks. Now, I haven't got through breeding with this game, but it is possible that when you get a new horse, you'll be able to select the silks for that horse. I don't know yet. The other thing I like about this that Horse Racing Manager doesn't have, because I did compare this game to Horse Racing Manager 2019 for Google Play, and also for Rival Stars, otherwise known as Farlap on the PlayStation 4, is that it too has the male and female, and as for what Rival Stars and Farlap doesn't have, it has replay, so that's awesome. The only thing that this game is missing that was also missing from Horse Racing Manager 2019 is that you cannot control your horses. You will have to hire jockeys, and it's very affordable to do that in this game. In this game, you'll see that there are gelding horses, male horses that cannot have kids, or stallions or mares, so it does have that breeding-esque feature to it that Gallop Racer has. In this game, there are a plethora of training exercises you can do for your horse and send them in. There's still some little fine-tunes that need to be done with the menu. Everything is placed very well. It's very picturesque. I like the colors, I like how they pop, and I like that things don't seem overly cluttered like they do in Horse Racing Manager 2019. It is very spacious, and you feel like you can see. You feel like you're actually playing a console game on the phone, or at least one of the older ones. This game, for its age, it does look very old. It's more reminiscent of Gallop Racer 2003 or 2001, albeit the movement of the horses, I feel, were much better on Gallop Racer 2001 on the PlayStation 2 than they are in this game. Although the horse models look okay, they still look a little bit clunky and very old, somewhere in between like the PlayStation 1 Gallop Racer, the 1999 version, and the 2003 version. You kind of get over that when you see all the stuff that you're able to do in the game, and it does have a learning curve because even though it is reminiscent of Gallop Racer, it does have a lot of extra stuff, like from G1 Jockey 3. If you guys have played G1 Jockey 3 or any of the horse racing managers from Japan, you'll notice that they kind of have that same intricacy with the training and all the details, which is really nice once you get to learn it, because we had the steep learning curve with the older games. Gallop Racer, which is a much simpler game to play, doesn't have all these doohickeys. It gets very straight to the point, but it has enough detail to keep you engaged and make you feel like every horse is unique. Horses do retire in this game. Of course, horses suffer from fatigue in this game as well. The one thing I don't like about this game, which I guess it's kind of similar to Gallop Racer, but in Gallop Racer it's kind of different, is that you have to wait for the races. Now, in Gallop Racer, you have races every week. You can schedule your races ahead of time, which is very good because then it will tell you, hey, your horse has a race this week, and then it will give you the option to go into the race, and you can either forfeit the race or you could just go in the race. Well, with this, it gives you that same option, but when it's time to race, you'll still have to wait. There'll be a little counter there that causes you to wait for some time. Now, if you don't have to wait, you can just go right in and the watch button will be blinking or illuminated at the very top left-hand corner. There will be that counter to tell you how much time you have left to wait for the race. The racing segment is very entertaining in that it kind of reminds you a little bit of Gallop Racer, and you can see your horses from all angles. What I don't like about it is seeing the horses run quite awkwardly, like you don't know whether to look at their legs or not, and you know that something is very uncanny about the way that they move. So the models, I feel, are much better in Horse Racing Manager 2019, to be honest. And if 2019 for the Android only had the breeding, like the sexual dimorphism in that one was female, one was male, I mean, you can't really tell, but they would have that little icon that one was male and one was female, that they would have everything that I wanted in this. And if they had, they do have the positions for where they're placed and how they run. So I feel like I like this game because it's very nostalgic of Gallop Racer, but I feel like I'm going to go back to Horse Racing Manager. And I like that Horse Racing Manager and Rival Stars also illuminates exactly which horse is yours. Now, granted, Gallop Racer didn't have that. When you have the replay, it looked more natural, so you just would have to know which horse is yours. But for the mobile games where everything is much smaller on a smaller screen, it's kind of nice to have your horse kind of highlighted in some way, shape, or form. But that's just a very short nitpick. It's pleasant to have gear to level up your horses, and as I can tell right now, that does help them in their races considerably, as does breeding. Just like Horse Racing Manager 2019, everything that you do to your horse, it does have an effect on its fatigue and its skills, and you can actually see that readily. I like that you can see the details of the horse, and what I don't like is that when you click on a horse, you can't see its details. You actually have to press on the details and then find the horse you want. I think it would be very advantageous if your horses had the ability to be clicked on so that you could go right to that horse. Because I imagine it'd be very annoying if you have like 10 different horses and you can't just scroll through and say, this horse right here, what are your details? So that's something that is lacking in this game. Something about this game is also different. I really like it, but maybe it's because I'm not really for it yet. I don't know. Everything is out there and very big and beautiful, so you can see what you're looking at with its stats, which I do like. I just feel like the horses don't really have any personality in this game yet. Like the other game I played, they do feel like they have personality, but that could just be because of the game itself. The horses are all different in the way that they behave, but I haven't seen that yet. Then again, it's just the first part of the game that I've been playing. But I do like some aspects of it. It's not totally bad. It just needs a little bit more polishing. But it does. I can tell they did take a lot of inspiration from Gallop Racer. When your horse is ready to race, you can give it instructions, and it's kind of weird because the only instruction that you have to give is for it to race in the position it normally races, which makes no sense. Like in other games or horse racing games or monster playing games like Monster Rancher, when they ask you to give instructions, that usually means, hey, do you want to drive this horse really fast at the end? Do you want to hold it steady? Do you want to hug the rail? But the only option they give you for the instruction is to, race in the position that you want or not, which I kind of find very stupid. So I don't know why they even bothered adding that in. That's kind of ridiculous. But the other one is the other thing is that you can bet on the races. Although I find that the betting is kind of confusing at first when you start to do it. So at this point, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? Other games make it straightforward that, you want to place, you want to bet, show, place, or win? How much? But this game, it makes it a little bit confusing to start off. So like I said, that's part of the steep learning curve. So, remember that counter that I talked about earlier on the top left-hand corner, up to the very top left of the screen? That counter that's going down, it says 130, 130, 129, 128. That's you getting ready to race, but you can't. Like, it says there's a current race going on, but you still have to end up waiting. Now, during this time, you can check out the other jockeys, you can check out the condition of the other horses, and you can check out their details. I do like that part of the game, that they give you more details than I've seen in any other game, for except for G1 Jockey, of course, for your opponents. And it's kind of hard to find yourself at the beginning, but yours is usually highlighted by green. And I like that. I really like that about it, but you have to wait for this counter even though it says you're the current race. So that part's very annoying, because if people only can play this in short bursts of time, then once we're ready to race, we should be ready to race. We shouldn't have to have an additional counter. The game is enjoyable in that it gives you something to look forward to, because you do want to get the best horses out there. And I do like the horses. It does remind me a lot about Gallop Racer 2003. But I think there are a lot to left to be desired for this game. I'm not even minding the animations as much. I wish that you could, customize a silk, which you probably can. I don't know if you can or not. Usually when horses start out in the game, when you get the one horse that you have, you can only you can only customize your silks when you breed an original horse. So that may be the case here. So far, I think the game is good. I think that Rival Stars and Horse Racing Manager could learn a lot from this. I like that the horses hang their head when they're tired, just like in Gallop Racer 2003. And like, I can't race anymore, I'm too tired. And you have to do a whole bunch of other stuff that you couldn't do in Gallop Race 2003 to get your horse ready to race again. So this game is actually pretty good for what it is. I like the details added to it, but it does have a steep learning curve, and there are a lot of stuff that you guys will have to be patient with as you're learning. I think you can also race against other people with this as well. It sucks you can't race your horses, but I guess this game makes up for it in all the details that it offers. So you can also watch your horses race too, which is really nice. But anyways, what do you guys think about this game? This game is good. It's not perfect, but it's good. We need something with either Red Dead Redemption's graphics and Rival Stars beautiful models, and just meld them together with Gallop Racer's details and menus and intricacies. But so far, if you like horses and you like horse racing, this is definitely a game that you should try out. Thank you for watching.